1.
Condense.
Condense.
Mr. Volk assigned each group a task to condense the selected novels into a 2-page summary.
In the early morning hours, water in the air usually condenses into dew, especially in late summer. 2.
Version.
Version.
There are 2 versions of the car, the luxury one and the standard one.
3.
Symbolic.
Symbolic.
Richard sent his girlfriend a bunch of roses as a symbolic gesture of his love for her. Symbol.
Symbol. As a symbol of good luck in Chinese culture, the color red is often used for decoration in weddings and festivals. 4.
Shadow.
Shadow.
If you stand under the sun, you will see your own shadow.
5.
Captivity.
Captivity.
Many animals in the zoo have never enjoyed freedom because they have been kept in captivity since birth. Captive.
Captive. The terrorists refused to release the captives unless their demands were satisfied.
Captive.
Captive.
The rich man had been held captive by a group of gangsters in a small room for about 15 days until the police came to his rescue.
6.
Chain.
Chain.
To prevent his bike from being stolen, Andy used an iron chain to fasten his bike to a pole in the parking lot.
7.
Discrimination.
Discrimination.
The female workers in the movie industry have long suffered gender discrimination, which is why they are determined to fight for equal pay. Discriminate.
Discriminate. People should never unfairly discriminate against others on the basis of appearance or sex. 8.
Midst.
Midst.
Wendy loves to dress in bright colors such as yellow, orange, and red. Thus, I can always easily find her even in the midst of a crowd.
9.
Prosperity.
Prosperity.
As new business has brought prosperity to the city, the unemployment rate there is quite low now. Prosper.
Prosper. Kevin worked hard, which led his business to prosper. However, he still lives a simple life.
Prosperous.
Prosperous.
This country is prosperous because it has leading-edge technology, a strong economy, and a productive government.
10.
Exile.
Exile.
Because of her critical comments about the government, the writer was forced into exile. Exile.
Exile. Napoleon was exiled to the island of St. Helena after being defeated at the Battle of Waterloo. 11.
Shameful.
Shameful.
Everyone thought Jack's behavior was shameful when he got drunk at the party and started insulting people. Shame.
Shame. Realizing what they had done was not funny but cruel, the kids bowed their heads in shame.
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 Although it shamed Adam to say it, he admitted that he hadn't made any contribution to the team project.
12.
Capital.
Capital.
It's true that Sydney is the largest city in Australia, but it's not the country's capital.
13.
Heir.
Heir.
As the only child of her family, Emily is the only heir to her father's fortune after he passed away.
14.
Liberty.
Liberty.
The umbrella movement in Hong Kong has been credited with helping to protect liberty and individual rights of citizens there.
15.
Default.
Default.
In some countries, people who default on their debts may be sent to prison. Default.
Default. Any default on your loan payments may lead you to lose your house. 16.
Bankrupt.
Bankrupt.
After failing to win the contract, the electrical company did not have enough money to pay its debts and eventually went bankrupt.
17.
Oppression.
Oppression.
The death of the black man revealed the fact that many African Americans are still suffering from racial oppression in the United States. Oppress.
Oppress. Sadly, the Tibetan people have been seriously oppressed by the PRC government for decades. Several massacres have even taken place there. 18.
Transform.
Transform.
After a lot of hard work, the water quality of the formerly polluted river has significantly improved, and it has been transformed into a popular tourist spot. Transformation.
Transformation. In its life cycle, a butterfly must undergo a transformation from a caterpillar before it can reproduce. 19.
Oasis.
Oasis.
The large downtown park serves as an oasis of calm in the center of the busy city.
Oases are important natural habitats for animals and plants in the desert. 20.
Vicious.
Vicious.
A vicious rumor about Kyle copying from other songwriters spread rapidly in the music industry.
The man received knife wounds and was seriously injured in the vicious attack by the gang. 21.
Drip.
Drip.
After playing basketball for 2 hours, Kenny's sweat dripped down his face. Drip.
Drip. The scientist collected the drips of the strange liquid that had formed on the test tube to find out what it really was. 22.
Glory.
Glory.
Without a doubt, receiving a Pulitzer Prize would be a moment of glory for anyone who works in journalism. Glorious.
Glorious. Ms. Ross taught us about the glorious history of our country, and we felt proud of our homeland. 23.
Lord.
Lord.
As a religious Christian, Helen always prays to the Lord whenever she is having a hard time.
24.
Flesh.
Flesh.
The priest encouraged the man to turn his thoughts to God and resist the pleasure of the flesh.
While sheep and horses eat plants, tigers, bears, and lions live on flesh. 25.
Despair.
Despair.
The victims of the typhoon were in despair because they had lost everything they owned. Despair.
Despair. Although the results of the experiments didn't provide any contribution to society, the scientist never despaired. 26.
Symphony.
Symphony.
An audience of 2,000 enjoyed a performance of Beethoven's symphonies by the Vienna Philharmonic.